quit it. Bulma. Shh. I don't want people to know that I'm weeaboo trash. Okay. Yeah, this is I'm going to be trying to do a series on using like some of the more free stock stuff in FL Studio. I like to use Harmor a lot, but I know a lot of people don't have it. They either don't have the funds or they just don't care to get it. So, aside from Harmor, Citrus is now free, by the way, in case people didn't know that. It was not free for a while, but it is now. And 3X is obviously fucking free. In fact, the 3X Oscillator is the one that I used the most when I was a wee young producer lad, 11-year-old producer. Okay. So, we're going to talk about this sound right here. And then we're going to talk about this sound. And the reason why that is there and why I'm going to talk about it is because this is a poor example, but I just wanted to make this quickly. But it's going to be an example of why you would want to record some of your stuff out, like bounce it out to audio in Edison and then drag it out and chop it up, because it gives you the ability to do stuff like this. Just a little bit of fun. It's, not important, but we'll focus on that on another video. But I just want you to know that this is a thing that people do. And it works. So, delicious. So, this sound here, it all started off as this guy by itself. What's going on is we have a unison layer 1, a unison layer 2. So think of this as if you had Harmor open or Massive and you had two, unison. Technically, you have 6 because you have 1 voice, 2 voice, 3 voice, and then 1 voice, 2 voice, 3 voice. So technically, this is 6 unison. Wow. What's making it do its thing is here. Let's mute that. I'll tell you why this branches out to 2 different things after we work on the core sound first. So, why is there no sound? Oh, because I muted one. Okay. So, we made this saw, keep the phase offset the same because you don't want the phases to change, or maybe you do. That's just not what I did for the sound. It didn't sound a whole lot different, so I kept it the way that it was. This is where the magic kind of happens for Reesing basses with the 3X. So I like to think of the 1, 2, 3 as like a sandwich. So you've got 1, the bun is detuned one way, 3, the other bun is detuned the other way. I don't know why I think of it like that. I think it's because I'm always hungry. Fucking like 99% of the time I produce music. And then 2 is your meat, which you don't want your meat to be detuned. So it's like you've probably heard the word fundamental tone before. So think of this as your fundamental voice. That's not going to be detuned that much, but it will be enough. So I just detuned the fuck out of the 1 and 3. Like they're literally they're touching that 50 detune line. And real quick, this knob here, this is going to be the equivalent to, let's open up Harmor really quick. That'll be equivalent to this knob right here. So it's just for sake of, showing you. So let's just say that's kind of the sound we have there. This knob here would be very similar to this knob here. Or this knob here. So just think of it like that. It'll make things a little bit easier for you. So that's going to give you that really dry detune kind of sound. which when you distort it will sound a fuck ton of a lot better. So then we went to the fine pitch to further detune it. Same thing as the 1 and the 3. Bun left, the other bun right. The middle one stays perfectly center, and it's a little bit detuned for character. You know, do that to taste. That's like the salt and pepper. Then what I did after that was I literally copied, like right click and then hit clone. Then I cloned it. And then we got this one. You'll hear a slight difference, and that's because I changed the range of the pitch to 1, and then I pulled it down to about here-ish, you know, like 35, 40-ish. So it just kind of detunes it out of the way a little bit more, enough to give it like that phase cancellation, because that's what I was trying to go for. This is not the perfect Reese, but I really think this is like a nice, meaty, beefy fucking, you just killed a cow. No, you killed a fucking bison, and then you made a base out of its beef. Bison beef. So when you put them together, then you'll get, you know, here, come on. All right. And this is where the other magic happens. Okay. So without the flanger, you get like a... It kind of makes that woo sound a little bit better. What I did was turn the rate all the way up, delay to about there, depth about here. Play around with this because it can really change the way the sound, you know, sounds. Like here, what's... Really gives you different effects. Then what? Oh, I should probably talk about this real quick. This is just like the sub elimination because we have a separate sub here. We'll just do that for another video, but I feel like that's common sense. Separate sub. If you want to retain some of the sub, there's different ways of doing it. I don't usually do a separate sub. Again, another video. But so I just cut this off because when you distort all of this, it'll even distort this. I just want, you know, the color per se, just the you know, make it pretty. Make it pretty. We don't want the mud. We want the pretty, but not the mud. So wave shaped the fuck out of it. Didn't touch any of these knobs at all. I literally just took it from where it was at, which I took this curve, pulled it all the way up to here, and then I went to like there. And then now it branches off into these two sections. Let's talk about that real quick before we go any further. So you're going to see these automation knobs here. I believe this is the band pass, and no, this is the notch, and this is the band pass. So let's get rid of these drums. And this is what we've got going on. So we have a band pass section, and we have, this was kind of detuned a little bit, or not detuned, distorted. So we have a regular one that's being notched, and then we have the band pass one. This is what it sounds like without the band pass. A little different. And then this is what it sounds like with the band pass. I just want it to be known that these are fucking completely random. And then I cut them up sometimes and fix them. That's why you see these lines, little slice marks. So do what you want. Then when you put them together, though, you get this. I thought that was fucking dope, so I kept it. You can have, you know, either way, but really this just goes to show you when you just play around with something, you can get some weird shit. Just being weird, just get fucking real weird with it. So this is the notch. just a notch. I don't know what else to say about it. Then, Then we have the Maximus. Maximus is now free as well. I'm almost positive, so utilize it. The cool thing about Maximus is that it's a multiband compressor, but it can also be used as like a multiband wave shaper. And if you don't know what that means, I'll give you a really dumbed down version. Pretend like for a moment here. It's actually, let's just open up a fresh Maximus real quick. Okay, so this right here, where you see the red moving. So think of it like this. Though this is like the EQ graph, basically. If you look at it, you can see the EQ graph, like hertz or whatever the fuck. Think of it like you're able to multi-band distort these, and multi-band is this is a band that I'm moving, and this is also a band that I'm moving, and then there's a third one. So you can distort each of those individually based on what where you lay these out. So like don't distort the mud end like this, and then just distort the mids, blah, blah, blah. Pretty cool. So we don't touch the low end. All I did was just merge the stereo because I don't like stereo on the low unless it's, nothing, just kidding, because I don't like stereo on my lows. Then we did this. This is going to distort kind of like I did here, but not as strong to the mid section again after the filter, which gives it like that extra colory kind of feel. This I didn't touch because I just didn't feel like it. And then this just maximum compression, sort of. Like I could have compressed it more, but I didn't want to. And when you put that all together, it's a really, really cool concept. Really cool. You can use it on any synth, really, other than this. But 3X is a great synth. Really good for leads, and it can be good for basses too. And again, for another video, I'll do an explanation to why you would want to bounce stuff out. In fact, if you want like a video like that, just tell me in the comments, and then we'll go over why bouncing out is a good idea and what kind of things you can do with it. Because it's always good to keep your bass libraries. Like I have this resample library, for instance, or I have another folder somewhere, but I can't find it. But I have a couple of resample folders. Oh, here it is, resampling. Like this, like... And it's like, you'll never know when you want to resample something that you've made and come up with something different with it. And this just gives you an extra upper hand because you get to use just the 3X to quickly do something, because it is quicker to do because you have less to work with. But less is more, I suppose, I guess, if you're into that. Hope this helped people with things. I hope I didn't miss anything, but I doubt it. I'll put a download for this. I usually don't do that, but I will this time. Like and comment and subscribe. I hate saying that, but that's the kind of shit that you have to do when you make content. I'm gonna go watch the new Dragon Ball Super episode. Bye.